I am going to build a home theater. Now, if you've been following the channel, then you know that I've already built a home theater. I have a dedicated home theater space in my basement. And that's where I make all my videos, and I've shown it on my channel a lot. So you're asking yourself, why are you building another home theater? Well, first of all, can you have too many home theaters? No, no, obviously not. Second of all, this isn't just any home theater. This is going to be a tiny home theater. Now, now you're probably thinking, wait a second. When it comes to home theater, bigger is better. Why would you build a tiny home theater? Well, not everybody has the space or the room or the wherewithal to build a massive dedicated home theater. A lot of people live in apartments, they live in condos, they live in homes where they don't have a basement, they live in homes where all of the rooms are taken up, or they don't have a room that's large enough for a large home theater. Now, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people out there are in a situation where they have a bedroom that's either not being used or that they could repurpose. So what I'm going to do is build a home theater in a bedroom. And it will be essentially a tiny home theater. It's going to have 2 seats, only 2. Now, when it comes to seating in home theaters, again, everybody seems to have that bigger is better mindset. And then they build the massive home theater, and then they find that 98% of the time, it's just them watching a movie by themselves, surrounded by a bunch of empty seats. Another 1% of the time, there's one other person watching with them, probably their spouse or their partner. And then the other 1% of the time, they may have more than 2 people. So this tiny home theater with 2 seats is going to provide that 99% experience. And the other thing about this theater is it's going to be pretty premium. This theater, I'm kind of going all out on this thing. Now I debated, should I do a budget home theater or should I kind of go all out? And I decided, you know what? I'm going to show that even in a limited space environment, you can still do a premium home theater. Now, what do I mean by premium home theater? This theater is going to be a 7.1.4 Atmos theater. There will be 7 speakers at ear level. There will be 4 height channels, and I'll have 1 subwoofer. At some point in the future, I may add a second subwoofer, which would just be ridiculous. Total overkill, but why not, right? But for now, it's going to be a 7.1.4. And then another thing, I am doing, when it comes to premium, I'm going to do separates. Now, initially, I'm going to have an AVR paired with external amps driving all channels. But in the future, I'm anticipating, I've got some things in the works where I'm actually going to have a dedicated processor. So this will be, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it will be a dedicated processor. Fingers crossed. But for now, initially, I'm just going to have an 11-channel AVR, and I'm going to use all of the pre-outs to send the signal to the amplifiers, which will then power all 11 speakers. Also, this room will be fully treated. Listen to this. This place is an echo chamber. So I'm going to show that it doesn't matter the size of your room, whether you're in a tiny room or a massive room and everything in between. Room treatment, critical, absolutely critical. So this is going to be a pretty awesome theater, and I'm really excited. So there are a couple things where I may not be totally premium. I already had a TV. I'm repurposing this TV from a different space that I was using it in. And so this isn't like the best of the best of the best screen, but it is a 4K TV and the picture does look very good. And at these dimensions, at this seating position, it is going to be immersive. Now, one thing that makes a premium theater that I will not be doing is this. I will not be repainting the room. I'm going to leave the room as it is. Now, 99% of the time, I recommend you've got to go with a dark, flat color to really get that full immersion so that you're minimizing the reflections. That's what I did in my basement home theater, and that's what I always recommend to people. But for a number of reasons, I will not be doing that in this space for now. Maybe at some point in the future, I will repaint it, but for now, I'm leaving it as is. Now, you've probably noticed behind me this window. A lot of sun comes through this window. This is actually a south-facing window, direct sunlight right through. I have got a solution to black it out that will not be, putting tinfoil on the window. Hopefully it will be a much better look than that. And it will be something to black out this because the TV is going to go up here. And so it's right in front and lots of glare. So I've got a blackout solution for this window. Excited about that. We'll see how that goes. I'll be doing a review of it. So we'll see. So now in this video, for now, well, just a heads up, this is going to be a multi-video series. It would be impossible to build this whole thing all in one video. So it's going to be a series of videos where we go through every step of the process and exactly what I do through the entire thing. So for now, in this video, we're just doing the TV, my cabinet that goes up here in the front that's going to hold all of my equipment, and then the speakers. So I'll install the speakers, and then that's pretty much what we've got for this video. But stay tuned because everything else is coming together. And as you can see by all these boxes here, I've already got almost everything. The only thing I'm waiting on is, well, you'll just have to see. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. This is an exciting project. So stick with me and keep checking back to see when I've posted some updates. So now, what am I doing for speakers? So obviously, we've got the speakers that are going to be installed here in this room. For now, initially, again, I've just got so much in the pipeline for this project. I've got some premium speakers on their way, and I'm really excited about them. But for now, kind of not really as a placeholder, because I am going to do some comparison between these more budget speakers compared to the premium speakers. So I kind of will be using both sets in conjunction with each other. So for now, what I'm installing are speakers from Monolith or Monoprice, the Monolith line from Monoprice. And so they're not too expensive. So they're definitely on the budget end of things. But eventually I am, fingers crossed, it's in the pipeline. It's working. I've got some premium speakers that I hopefully will be replacing them with. And so for now, we've got these. They're the bookshelf B5s I'm using for the 4 sides and surrounds, and then also for the height channels. And then I'm using the C5 for the center channel. And then for the mains, I am using, I forgot, the T5s. That's easy enough to remember. Tower 5s for my mains. And now here's something that is I would say critical. Speaker placement. Now, previously I've made videos about how to actually determine where to place your speakers. I highly recommend you check those out if you're interested at all in how to calculate where to place your speakers in your room. And it's based all on angles. So it's not, oh, it needs to go on this wall, so I'll put it on this wall, or oh, I need to. No, it's all about the angles. And so I give you a very clear formula for how to calculate where to put your speakers. And I did that in this room. I set up my main listening position, and then I measured the distance to the speakers in the front, and then determined how far to put them side to side. I also did the same for the height channels, measured up, and then I calculated how far to the side and how far back and how far forward, etc. But as with all things, nothing is perfect. And so I hit a bit of a snag because the ideal placement for the speakers, there's no stud, there's no floor joist directly above that to mount into. And so I had to move the speaker slightly so that I could mount them to a joist. And that's just kind of how life goes. Sometimes you have to adjust a little bit, but they're within inches of where they should be. So I'm anticipating that these will be placed well and that the sound coming from them will be awesome. Okay, so the first stage is complete in my new tiny theater. I've got all the speakers set up. I've got my chair here, obviously. I've got the TV mounted, my cabinet. I swapped out the fan. It was the previous fan just didn't really work because the blades were too large, and it was going to restrict where I could place my height speaker there. And so I just totally replaced it, which was good. To this point, I have not yet run any of the cabling. Now, this is one of those challenges that you have when you go into an existing room. It's how do you get cabling to your speakers? And I have a lot of speakers. I have 11 speakers to be exact, and they're on the walls, they're on the ceiling, they're on the front. So future video, I will be covering how I get all of the cables to them. So fingers crossed that that works out well. But yeah, I'm excited. I will say, so I envisioned what this room would look like once I got all of these speakers in place. And yes, it does match what I envisioned in my mind, but sitting here, like the reality of it, this is pretty silly. I will I will acknowledge this is pretty silly. To have 11 speakers in a room that is literally 11 feet by 11 feet with an 8-foot ceiling. I am surrounded by speakers. I have speakers just completely, everywhere. But this is, it's fun, right? Like this is fun. Like why go boring, right? Like where's the fun in a boring setup? So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's over the top, but it's fun. So I'm excited to see how these future videos turn out when I document all of the next steps on this project, and it's going to be fun. And I'm glad that you're here with me, and stay tuned, and thanks for watching.